Two mega resorts, North Strip, built within 3 years of each other. Combined cost, $8 billion. Resorts World Las Vegas, $4.3 billion. Opened June 2021. Fontainebleau Las Vegas, $3.7 billion. Opened December 2023. Both struggling, both losing money, both laying off employees. This is Resorts World versus Fontainebleau. Which $4 billion resort is failing faster? Let's compare the disasters. Resort World's financial performance is a disaster. First quarter 2025. Revenue down 22% year over year to $166 million. Fourth quarter 2024. Revenue down 21.2% to $190 million. Third quarter 2024. Revenue dropped to $177 million, down 23% from the prior year. The trend is accelerating downward. Hotel occupancy at Resorts World is declining. First quarter 2025, 82.3% occupancy with $274 average daily rate, down from 89.1% occupancy and $298 the prior year. Third quarter 2024, occupancy fell to 85.1% with $244 ADR, down from 91.1% and $246. For a $4.3 billion luxury resort opened in 2021, those numbers are terrible. The property is brand new and already losing occupancy and room rate. That's not supposed to happen for a decade. Resorts World is failing for multiple reasons. North Strip location is isolated. It's far from everything. Tourists don't walk there. They need rideshare to go anywhere else. The property has no clear identity. Is it luxury? Is it mid-tier? Who is it for? Nobody knows. The casino is massive but soulless. The rooms are nice but generic. There's no reason to stay there specifically versus any other Strip property. Gaming options aren't player-friendly. High table minimums. Tight slot machines. Limited video poker with decent payables. They're not attracting casual gamblers or serious players. The Resorts World brand doesn't mean anything in Vegas. Genting tried to import their Asian brand to Vegas, and it doesn't resonate with American tourists. According to sources familiar with internal financials, Fontainebleau was burning up to $400,000 per day in the early months following its December 2023 opening. The resort needs $4 million in daily revenue to break even. Current figures show net revenue of only $2.1 million per day, while daily expenditures reach $2.44 million. That's a daily loss of $340,000 before accounting for debt service. Fontainebleau owes over $2 billion in debt, $350 million to VICI Properties, $500 million to Blackstone. The daily interest on that debt is substantial and not included in the $340,000 daily loss figure. When you add interest payments, Fontainebleau is likely losing $500,000 or more per day. That's $15 million per month, $180 million per year in losses. May 2025, Fontainebleau laid off over 60 table game dealers. That's cost-cutting in response to financial losses and empty tables. The casino floor is almost empty most nights, only 3 or 4 tables busy with 1 to 3 players each. Slot machines have maybe 4 or 5 machines occupied. When your gaming floor is that dead, you can't afford to staff dozens of dealers. Hence the layoffs. Both Resorts World and Fontainebleau are under regulatory investigation for the same issue. That's not a coincidence. That suggests systemic problems with how new mega resorts are vetting high rollers and managing credit. Fontainebleau suffers from the same problem as Resorts World, North Strip location. It's next to Circus. That proximity doesn't help. It's far from everything. Center Strip is a rideshare away. Fremont Street is a rideshare away. The property is isolated and doesn't benefit from foot traffic. Visitors stay at Fontainebleau, realize they need to rideshare everywhere, and decide to stay somewhere more central next time. Fontainebleau is trying to position as ultra-luxury competing with Wynn and Bellagio. Room rates reflect that. But the brand doesn't have the reputation to command those prices yet. People will pay $500 a night for Wynn, Because Wynn has decades of reputation for excellence. Fontainebleau opened 18 months ago. Nobody's paying Wynn prices for an untested brand. So Fontainebleau has to offer deals. Sign up for the email list and you get rooms at half price. That attracts customers but destroys revenue per room. They're caught between pricing high to match their luxury positioning and pricing low to fill rooms. Right now they're doing both, which means they're not making money either way. Resorts World first quarter 2025, $166 million in revenue. Fontainebleau. Not publicly traded, so exact figures aren't disclosed, but sources report $340,000 daily losses before debt service. Based on available information, Fontainebleau is losing more money in absolute dollars. But Resorts World is older, opened 2021 versus 2023, and should be profitable by now. The fact that Resorts World's EBITDA keeps collapsing to $1 million is arguably worse because they've had more time to stabilize. Verdict: Resorts World's collapse is more concerning because it's accelerating despite being 3 years older. Fontainebleau at least has the excuse of being new. Resorts World. Multiple CEO changes in 2024 and 2025. Current situation has CFO doubling as CEO. Parent company CEO and Chairman KT Lim resigned March 2025 after 2 decades. Same day, Genting filed its financial results. Fontainebleau, over a dozen executives gone in 18 months. CFO, CTO, COO, CMO, multiple VPs, complete chaos. Verdict: Fontainebleau's executive exodus is worse. When you lose your CFO, CTO, COO, and CMO within months of opening, that's catastrophic operational failure. Resorts World first quarter 2025, 82.3% occupancy, $274 ADR. Fontainebleau. Reports suggest they're offering massive discounts through email sign-ups to fill rooms. Exact occupancy not publicly disclosed, but anecdotal reports suggest it's not great. Verdict: hard to say definitively without Fontainebleau's exact numbers, but Resorts World's publicly reported occupancy is decent, even if declining. Fontainebleau seems to be struggling more based on the need for aggressive discounting. Resorts World. Reports suggest casino is often sparse, but not completely dead. Fontainebleau. Multiple reports of almost empty casino floors, only 3 to 4 tables busy, very few slot machines occupied, dealers laid off because there's no business. Verdict: Fontainebleau's gaming floor is deader. That's worse because gaming is supposed to drive casino resort profits. Which is failing faster? Fontainebleau. Fontainebleau is losing more money per day, has worse executive turnover, has a deader casino floor, is under ongoing regulatory investigation, has to discount aggressively to fill rooms, laid off dealers due to lack of business. Resorts World is also failing, but it's a slower collapse. They're still generating positive EBITDA, even if it's tiny. They're not laying off dealers. Their occupancy is declining, but not catastrophic. Their regulatory issues are settled. Fontainebleau is in crisis mode. Resorts World is in decline mode. Crisis is worse than decline. Both properties opened at the wrong time. Resorts World opened June 2021, 15 months into the pandemic. Tourism was still recovering. Convention business was still soft. Fontainebleau opened December 2023 right as the economy was tightening and Vegas visitation was peaking. They missed the recovery boom. If these properties had opened in 2017 or 2018, they would have had 2 years to stabilize before the pandemic. Instead, they opened into weak demand and declining Strip revenue. North Strip location is a curse. It's too far from Center Strip. It's too far from downtown. It's isolated. Tourists don't walk there. Foot traffic is minimal. Successful mega resorts are either Center Strip, Bellagio, Cosmopolitan, area, or have unique positioning. Wynn commands loyalty. Venetian has massive convention space. North Strip has neither advantage. You need rideshare to go anywhere. That's a deal breaker for many tourists. What is Resorts World? Who is it for? What makes it special? Nobody knows. What is Fontainebleau? It's a Miami brand imported to Vegas. Does that resonate with Vegas tourists? Not really. Compared to successful properties, Wynn is ultra-luxury with Steve Wynn's reputation. Cosmopolitan is hip and modern for younger, wealthy travelers. Circa is sports-focused adults only downtown. Resorts World and Fontainebleau don't stand for anything. They're just big hotels with casinos. That's not enough. Resorts World. $4.3 billion to build. Genting is publicly traded, so debt is somewhat manageable, but the property needs to generate way more EBITDA to justify the investment. Fontainebleau, $3.7 billion plus over $2 billion in debt. That debt service is crushing. They need $4 million per day just to break even before debt payments. When you're carrying that much debt, you can't afford to lose money for long. The clock is ticking. Wynn, Bellagio, Cosmopolitan, Aria, Venetian, all established, all well-run, all with strong reputations. Why would a tourist choose untested Resorts World or Fontainebleau over proven Wynn or Cosmopolitan? They wouldn't unless the new properties offered significantly better value or experiences. Neither does. They're just newer. That's not enough of a differentiator. Resorts World versus Fontainebleau. Which $4 billion resort is failing faster? Fontainebleau is failing faster, losing $400,000 per day. Over a dozen executives gone in 18 months. Casino floor almost empty. Dealers laid off. Aggressive discounting to fill rooms. Complete operational chaos. Resorts World is also failing, but more slowly. Revenue declining every quarter. EBITDA collapsed to $1 million. Multiple CEO changes. $10.5 million fine paid. But at least they're generating tiny positive EBITDA and not laying off dealers yet. Both are disasters. Both prove that building mega resorts on the North Strip in the 2020s was a terrible idea. Wrong time, wrong location, too much debt, no clear identity, competition from established properties too strong, $8 billion invested, both properties struggling, neither profitable, both under regulatory investigation, both bleeding money. Golden age of Vegas mega resort construction is over. Resorts World and Fontainebleau are the proof. Have you stayed at Resorts World or Fontainebleau? Which is worse? Let me know in the comments. If you want more deep dives into Vegas disasters, what's really happening, and which properties are failing, subscribe to Vegas Vault. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.